Hey guys, this is Spartacus here, and welcome to another video where in today's video we are going back to Modern Warfare 3 because Modern Warfare 3 is now backwards compatible on the Xbox One, which is pretty dang awesome because Modern Warfare 3 has a huge place in my heart, you guys. Like, it has such, it's honestly one of the most important Call of Duties to me, and I'll explain that later in this video. But yes, you guys, Modern Warfare 3 is now backwards compatible. You can put your 360 disc of Modern Warfare 3 directly into your Xbox One console, and you can download it and you can play it, which is awesome. But for you PlayStation users, I'm sorry, but PlayStation 4 decided not to have backwards compatibility on their console, which really sucks. So that kind of sucks for PlayStation users. But then again, PlayStation users do have exclusivity deals, so I mean, it kind of balances out there a little bit. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk more about this. So one thing I want to mention, you guys, is Modern Warfare 2. Now, why are we talking about Modern Warfare 2 here? So Modern Warfare 2 is the only Call of Duty game that is not backwards compatible on the Xbox One. Ever since today, when Modern Warfare 3 became backwards compatible, every single Call of Duty game is now available basically on the Xbox One except for Modern Warfare 2, which I find to be quite interesting because the last Call of Duty game to actually become backwards compatible was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. So I kind of assumed that Modern Warfare 2 would be the next Call of Duty game to be backwards compatible, but instead we get Modern Warfare 3, which I do find to be quite interesting. So what about Modern Warfare 2, you guys? So this kind of, to me anyway, this gives us a huge hint that Modern Warfare 2 is actually going to be remastered this next year because, of course, after Black Ops 4 is going to be Infinity Ward's next Call of Duty game. And I know Infinity Ward hasn't been doing very well, but their last game that they came out with was Infinite Warfare. And if you bought the Legacy Edition of Infinite Warfare, you actually got Modern Warfare Remastered. So that, to me, that's quite interesting. I really hope they don't do the same business model with Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Oh my gosh, because that was a huge mess when that came out. But anyway, we know Activision is capable of making their developers create a remastered version of older Call of Duty games. We already have Modern Warfare Remastered, you guys. We know they're capable of remastering older Call of Duty games, so it makes complete sense. Infinity Ward will remaster Modern Warfare 2. Another thing I would like to mention about Infinity Ward is that they actually have a new studio somewhere in Poland, which I find to be completely interesting, you know, because I think their main studio is actually in California. And then I remember, I think about a year ago, they announced that they have a new studio in like Poland or something like that, which I find that really interesting. So I don't know what they're doing over there in Poland. Maybe the developers in Poland are actually creating the Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. That'd be quite interesting. And then maybe the developers in like the California studio are trying to work on their like new title or something like that. So yeah, I'm kind of interested in Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. I know Modern Warfare 2 Remastered has been blowing up on the internet for a long time now. I mean, there has been a little bit of a break for Modern Warfare 2 Remastered recently, but still, it's kind of being brought up again by a bunch of other YouTubers, because I know a lot of people are making this kind of video with the exact same title, but then again, what other title are you going to use for this kind of video? So anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up, you guys. I do find it interesting how they have not backwards compatible Modern Warfare 2 yet. So yeah, I don't know. I think it just gives us a huge hint, so I just want to put that out there right now. I don't know if there's any more information about Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, but this is just my speculation. So let's go into Modern Warfare 3, you guys. So Modern Warfare 3, like I said before, it has a huge place in my heart. Now, why is this game so important to me compared to any other Call of Duty game? The reason why Modern Warfare 3 is so important to me is because this is my very first Call of Duty game. At least I classify Modern Warfare 3 to be my very first Call of Duty game. So this is how the story goes. And I meant to make like a video like this, like its own individual video. Maybe I will later in the future, but I'll try and go over this quickly. So Modern Warfare 3, I got it during Christmas. I don't remember what year it was. Well, I guess whatever year Modern Warfare 3 came out, right? So it was the year that Modern Warfare 3 came out, and in December I got this game for Christmas. But at the same time, I also got Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare for Christmas. So I got Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 3 at the same time. And so I, of course, played Modern Warfare's campaign before I plopped in my Modern Warfare 3 disc. And then I bought Modern Warfare 2 so I can play through its campaign, because because at the time I played a lot of single player campaigns. I wasn't really a multiplayer guy. I never like really played online. My internet wasn't very good, so I played a lot of single player games, and so I really got into the single player for Call of Duty. So I played Call of Duty 4's single player, then I bought Modern Warfare 2, and I actually have the hardened edition of the game. I like, seriously, this was back when GameStop was actually pretty decent to me. Like, I actually got a cheap version of Modern Warfare 2, and they gave me, the only copy they had was the hardened edition, and I was like, heck yeah. So I have the hardened edition of Modern Warfare 2, which is freaking badass. So anyway, I bought that game, and then I played Modern Warfare 3. Of course, Modern Warfare 3 was still at its prime, and so after I played the campaign, I played a crap ton of Spec Ops. I love Spec Ops to death. I love playing a survival mode, and I loved the Chaos mode when it came out for PlayStation 3, which, keep in mind, you guys, this was back when I played on PlayStation 3. I did not have an Xbox 360 yet at the time, so I played on PlayStation 3 back in the day, and so this game is what got me hooked in Call of Duty. I love the aspect how it had like this World War III sort of vibe to it, you know, and it just made me have, it was like a military shooter, you know. I mean, it was like my first military shooter, if I'm being completely honest. I know Call of Duty is very unrealistic in very many ways, but it was still like, it still had like this war vibe to it, and it just got me hooked in Call of Duty, and I just fell in love with the Call of Duty franchise ever since then. And so Modern Warfare 3 has a huge place in my heart, you guys. It's my very first Call of Duty game, and it's what got me hooked on the franchise in the first place, and that's why I'm so happy I can now play it on my Xbox 360. I'm probably going to be playing it a lot over the summer now that I think about it, but you know, I'm very happy, you guys. I'm so happy that this game is now backwards compatible. Hopefully someday in the future that Modern Warfare 3 will become remastered, and that will be like the greatest day of my life when I do that. Like, literally, this whole channel will only be Modern Warfare 3 remastered content, I swear to you. Another thing I would like to mention is that back when I was playing on PlayStation, I can't even talk right now, but back when I was playing on PlayStation, that was back when Xbox had the exclusivity deal. DLC came out first for Xbox for Call of Duty, and so I was in the kind of the minority, you know. I was on the PlayStation 3, I didn't get DLC first, and I remember like when DLC 3 came out, it was Collection 3, right, and it came with Chaos Mode, and Chaos Mode was a new mode added to Spec Ops, and I would just like watch Ali and other YouTubers play Chaos Mode, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this game mode looks so cool, I can't wait till it comes out on PlayStation. And I remember one night I opened up, or I turned on my PlayStation, and on the PlayStation Store advertised Collection 3 that it was available now, and I'm like, Dad, you gotta buy this for me, I'll pay you back later. Like, seriously, like, I was so excited. Oh my gosh, the nostalgia, you guys. I played Modern Warfare 3 for a couple hours, you guys, and there was over 21,000 people online, and this was between 3 and 4 p.m. Pacific time, and so yeah, I was kind of surprised how many people were actually logged in during that time of the day. So yeah, you guys, I love Modern Warfare 3. I know it's not a very popular Call of Duty game. I can see why. You die very fast. So, like, there's a lot of like unbalanced features in the game. The maps are really dreary and ugly looking, which I understand. I really do understand. But like, this just means a lot to me, you guys. Like, this game has a huge place in my heart. So anyway, I'm just gonna end the video off here. I wanted to mention the whole Modern Warfare 2 remastered thing and how this game is so important to me, and it's basically backwards compatible on the Xbox One. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a rating for whatever you guys feel this video deserves, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more Call of Duty videos later in the future, and I shall catch you guys later.